Good afternoon, traders. It's the chart review for 6/4/2019 Tuesday, and here was my clickbait kind of thumbnail that I put on my video this morning, and it sure was a big move up today. I had a feeling just by looking at the charts and stuff like that. I was before the market even opened, I was taking trades trying to get on this rally. You can see here, nice little pop first thing in the morning. I was trading the MES up here, just a single contract. Came back, I had to get out of it because it was falling back, but I kept on getting back in, taking more and more trades, trying to get on this rally. And I think I've got a few things to share with you, some tips and some maybe insight. So hold on and we'll be right back. Okay, so let's do the chart review for the ES futures, the S&P 500. Going to start tonight with the symmetry. I had marked this off for you, and I had this one in place pre-market. I showed that in the prep video, and you can see that a lot of the levels worked out real nice with pullbacks, even though the market was so strong it really wasn't pulling back too much. But first touches definitely got you until up to here, and then it just kind of busted out, and this is where we're trading at right now. Isn't this incredible? These are all 100% measured moves all the way from the first swing down here, and I think it's just amazing how the symmetry works out in the end for the market. But enough of that. So let's go jump over to the weekly. Try and cover this real quick. So weekly has a huge bar now. We traded up through this gap, and we're starting to get into some volume, but I still think we've got quite a bit of room to move here. And with the Fed signaling cheap money, we could be off to the races in 2860 up here, probably the next maybe kind of resistance zone where it might run into some trouble. But let's look at the daily here. So on the daily, I've pulled the profile back to just look at these bars right here, and the reason you got the rally. So look at where this touched. It came up, touched the top of this profile right here, bounced off, and then we got another move basically off of that where you went through. I was saying, hey, the volume through here is pretty light. We're going to get a fast move. If you go watch the prep video, I even make mentions of, hey, if you try and take my scalping lines for shorts, you got to be really careful because it's gonna rip through here. Use them as support as it goes through. I thought we would get a lot more resistance in this area, but hey, cheap money is cheap money, and everybody wanted in, and it just kind of ripped to the upside, even exceeding the extreme on the ATR today. And after hours, you can see that they're still ripping it up to the upside. At the close, we were at this volume node right here and holding, and the minute that they reopened the market, we instantly popped up into this volume node. So we've tested the bottom of this volume node, pulled off some, and we'll probably pull back down just a little bit into the top of this volume node, and then I'm come back in the morning. I'm predicting that we're going to be up here 28-25 by morning. I think the excitement is palpable at this point to get into this market and make sure that you catch this ride to the top. Again, look at this candle right here. So I've covered this in a number of videos. I say big long candles, sign of weakness. Other people call them sign of strength. I say sign of weakness. Nobody takes positions in here when it's falling, and so what happens is when it comes back the other direction, it just rips through. You've got the same problem right here. It's going to rip through. That's why I said, hey, by morning we're going to be up here. Okay. They're gonna rip right through this candle right here. There's just too low a volume. They're just this down move was pretty huge and fast. It was scary, but you know, when you look at all the big bars, right? Big bar down, big bar back up, right? This plays out all over the chart. Big bar up, big bar down. Big bar down, big bar up. So just keep that in mind. I have a different opinion than a lot of people about what big bars are. I consider them signs of weakness. Hey, just we're going to look at this 240. So look at this 240 here. Let me get a pointer. Look what's in this bar. It's pretty thin as far as the volume right here. So it could easily just, you know, rip to the downside too. Now that we're up, oh look, I got another candle right there. What I wanted to show here and kind of share with you guys is a pretty important lesson. So if you're kind of drowsy and not paying attention, maybe wake up a little bit and kind of listen to this. So when I draw levels and when I pick levels, I'm looking in the low volume areas. And the reason that I look in the low volume areas is because I know that they fill in with new trading. These are the areas where you get your resistance, your support and resistance. The price is going to try and trade between these two areas. And so today, look over here in today where all the volume is. The volume is right where I kind of highlighted the grays, and it's trying to fill in, right, this area. And so when I put a lot of lines on my chart for a lot of the scalping stuff, I try and put it up against volume. Like I know that it's trading up, and so I want to be against this volume and try and get the reaction off the line to come back down for the scalp. You know, so that's why I put it up here at the top. But I know that the trading is going to be in between these nodes. So look right here where all the volume is. It's in this gap. So the volume right here, it's in this gap. And so when I'm picking these levels for scalps, you know, I'm usually trying to put my lines up against some kind of volume level, like right here. You know, I want an edge. I want the edge so that it reacts off the edge and gives you that scalp to the right direction. And so I know that if I look in the low volume nodes, that's where the trading action is going to be. And I'm counting on reactions from those areas to get you a point of you know, on the S&P. So I hope that's a good lesson. I hope you understand that. If you have questions, please put it in the comments. You know, it's kind of hard to make these videos sometimes because you don't want to repeat the same thing over and over again all the time. But 60 minutes, nothing probably to talk about there. This is the intraday. I'm going to go ahead and kind of take these guys off. But you can see right here, you know, you would have got the point, right? Right here in that gap, you got the point. That's where, you know, I was putting that line up there against that. You get the point. Up here, you know, you get the pullback. You get the point. I'm sorry. Let me. You know, you can see when we trade into these areas, and I'll try and spread this out a little bit more. I know that it's going to have back and forth trading, you know, and so I put these lines right here because I'm looking to get that scalp off of it. I'm looking to get the scalp, you know, the volume was up higher here, but you can see that, you know, I highlighted the gap, and that's where the trading happened. That's where all the trading happened, where all the trading happens. It happens in the gaps. And I hope that's a kind of a big kind of wake up clue in that if you're not doing volume and you're running some kind of stochastic or moving average and you think that's like your edge in the market, it's not. But hey, prove me wrong, tell me I'm wrong, put it in the comments, tell me I suck. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm open to learning something new from other people if there's a better way to do this. But again, after years and years of experience, I know, the trading's going to happen here. Look, look, it's all in the nodes are all showing up from today's trading right in those lines that I had put on. So when I put scalp lines on and I'm trying to pick the best location, I'm trying to get you that bounce down or bounce off the support resistance line and give you that point of money from the scalp. So, and then when I call those levels, I'm trying to put the levels up against points that are going to pull back. But anyways, I don't want to kill you with that same thing over and over again. If you got questions, please ask. What a tremendous day. No pullbacks. Another thing I want to say here is, when this started to rip to the upside, I told you the volume was light. Everybody that was shorting the market, what happens is, and I've covered this in spike and channel video and other videos, the people that are trying to get short, they don't realize what's happening, that there's no resistance in the move. And so the market's moving up quickly. I told you it was going to move quickly, and they get on the wrong side. And so when you get up into these areas, they are adding constantly to their short position. And as soon as they raise their cost basis, so if they got in down here and they added a whole bunch of contracts right here, and then they added more contracts here, as soon as they get their cost basis up to the point where they're break even, they get out of the market. And when they buy all those contracts back from being short, it juices the market. That's why the market never comes back. It just keeps on ripping to the upside. And you're like, how come it's never pulling back? It's never pulling back. It's because all the shorts are being squeezed. They keep on adding to their position in order to bring their cost basis up, in order to try and break even when it pulls back just a little bit. And so they keep on adding contracts, and as soon as they sell, it juices the market for another leg or so. If you don't understand that concept, put something in the comments and try and get some clarification from me. But so many people will try and short this market all the way up and not realize that they're getting ran over. They're just, when the market's going to move fast through a low volume area, they're getting smashed because there is no shorting. All the shorts are basically fueling the drive up because they keep on shorting and shorting and shorting, adding to their short position, and as soon as they get to break even, they buy it all back, and that's a whole lot of contracts, and it juices the market, and it puts all the other shorts underwater again. Hope you can understand that. I already covered the symmetry there. If you like the analysis, it's helpful. I do a pre-market every day to get you ready for the trading. I give you levels. Subscribe. Check out the videos. I'm sure you can learn something if you're a future trader. If you're not a futures trader, if you're a stock trader, you might want to get into futures. The MES is really cheap to trade. It's really worth it. I trade one market, concentrate completely on it. There's plenty of trades all the time. So leave me some comments, subscribe if you like the video, and I will see you guys in the morning. Take care.